Hey y'all, we are live, okay? And I am here on time. Y'all seen I was over there with Reggie, cause he went over talking about where I'm at. We are here. We live. We doing Ask Richard today. Oh, let me put my link in the I'm gonna put my link. I'm gonna put my link in the comments in case anybody want to come on and ask Richard any questions. We're gonna talk about ice makers. We're gonna talk about ice makers today. So if y'all have any questions about ice makers, and y'all can ask him. Hold on 1 second. Let me get my stuff together. Um, put my banner up. Mm. Yeah, I feel like I got me a power pellet today. Man, I spent 4 hours of my day today in the hospital getting iron infusions. I told y'all last time I didn't feel well. Man, my iron was so low. It was the lowest it's ever been. And so I spent 4 hours today getting iron infusions, and I had to do the same thing again next week for 4 more hours. I don't have 4 hours. So, of course, I was working the whole time I was in the hospital because I don't have 4 extra hours to spare to live. To live, y'all. Look, y'all, we still got I think we still got a seat or two left in our seal system class for July 9th and 10th. So if y'all want to get in that, y'all need to go hurry up and hop in. I think I had somebody said like 2 of them was registering tomorrow. And that might be then it may be full. And we have the basic appliance repair course coming up on July the 11th. So it's still time for y'all to enroll in that. So I'm gonna put my link in the comments. So if y'all want to come on and ask Richard any questions, we talking about ice makers today, and y'all can just come in and ask them. As soon as I find out how to put it in there. One second, I'm gonna bring Richard on. Hey, Richard.
Good evening.
Hey, your internet look better now. I don't know what you did. You fixed it. Your miracle work over there.
It helps if you plug your phone in so it's not running down to 25%.
Oh, you said your phone was 5%?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why it was cutting out.
Oh, okay. You got any big plans for the holiday?
I do. I'm going to be spending some time with the family working on getting them moved in their new house.
Oh, okay. Well, that's work. Well, well, I'll be
Oh,
working.
that's the fun work. That's taking care of family stuff.
Yeah. Okay, Richard. So you can introduce yourself to people who don't know you for first time viewers, and then we'll get into the ice makers.
All right. Richard Green, been doing electronics since 1981. Started out in the Air Force, spent 23 years in the Air Force doing electronics and electronic related fields. And then I've started doing the residential and commercial side of refrigeration in 1996, uh, working with Dependable, and did a lot of residential installs uh, and working with different refrigeration units. Went to the commercial side because of personal health. Can't get into the mildew and get into the animal allergies. So, people don't like to see you sneezing all over their house. So I started doing that, and which in today's environment they really wouldn't want to see you sneezing all over their house. And I do electronic and I do refrigeration on on a daily basis. Worked on satellite and microwave and fiber communications for several years, and it all has the common thread of current flows through it, and you got to keep it cool in order for it to work right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. And now you instructor.
now I work with it. Now I'm an instructor with SSG. I did
Yay.
instructing off and on over the years. I did the OJT, and I was a train the trainer instructor when I was in the Air Force as well. But I worked with another college or two, doing an occasional class here and there. So.
Okay. And now he's with SSG. Yay!
Best place to be.
Yes. Okay, so we're talking about ice makers today, y'all. Y'all have any ice maker questions for him or Silk System? If y'all have any questions for Silk System, y'all can put it in the chat, in the comment, or y'all can, as soon as I find out how to put the link in the comments. I'm scared too, because last time I put the links in the comments, I had all kind of people, all kind of trolls jumping in on my live. Mike said he gonna report my channel. Okay, Richard. So okay, the first question we have for you is, how do you cycle an ice maker?
Normally, the easiest way is just to take the lever. Well, it depends on the type of ice maker. All ice makers are different. There are as many different types of ice makers out there as you want to use. But the standard residential, you can take and the ice level lever, bring it down to the off position, and then flip it back up. Flip it down to the on position, then bring it back up. Wait a couple minutes, and then flip it back down to the on position, and it should cycle. Now, that's if it's at temperature. If it's not at temperature, you can remove the cover on the standard ones and short across. You take a piece of number. I usually use a piece of small number 14 wire, stripped on both ends, solid, and short the two pins so that it will short. You can look it up for any manufacturer's manual. Just look up. You can look up the GE ice maker, the Whirlpool ice maker. They're all look up their directions. In fact, a lot of them have it inside the cap. Some of the older ones, the newer ones will have it down in their directions that are up underneath in the diagram area. Or of course, you can always look it up online. But the easiest way is, like I say, to take that number 14 gauge wire that you stripped off about, 3/4 of an inch, make your little U, jumper it in, and that will cause the ice maker to cycle. So, and that will cause it to reset. On the newer ones, you have to look up the Samsung and the ones where they've got them in the door. You have to look up where they've got it in the door. But the nice thing is that you can always look up the model number and look it up and find your material line.
Okay.
So, good enough answer for that one?
So
there's no interaction with the audience here.
Yeah. Well, that was great. Somebody said outstanding, so I'm thinking it was good.
Okay.
The first thing
I recommend everybody do if they're going to work on ice makers is make them a shorting cable with spade, females and male spade, so that they can make them a cable to jump power. Now put a switch in it. Don't just take it so that you plug it into the wall, because you can't get around to the front to make sure you're not flooding it out and unplug it from the wall fast enough. But you're going to want to jumper or take and put the power on the two pins of your water solenoid and be able to cut your water solenoid on and off and make sure you have good flowing water. Not just a trickle, not an intermittent spurt and spaz, but good flowing water through that tube in the back so that it comes out. The reason you want to make sure that's working first, I normally do that the very first thing, is because I want to make sure that the water is getting to my ice bin area to work. And if you have a blog, if it freezes up, if you have a little trickle that leaks by, and what happens most of the time is that water valve, as it starts to age, it's a solenoid, the seal starts to leak just a little bit. You get just a little bitty trickle that leaks by. I mean, just a little drop or two that leaks by it, and it leaks by, and it freezes up and plugs the back. So in the back of the freezer, and so no water flows in. People think, yeah, I've got great, I've got my water works on the front, my water works here, but it won't work out the back. And usually it's because the valve itself has started to leak by, or we have some other blockage, and the water is just trickling instead of real weakly, and it'll freeze up in the back instead of flowing into the ice tray.
Oh, okay. Triple R appliance repair. He said that's a great idea. He said he need that. That's a great idea. I don't know. That's my first.
You can use this cord to make it with a switch to test the compressor, to test the solenoids, and a lot of these the newer ice machine refrigerators, and even the ice machines. And that's the funny thing, even the commercial ice machines still have that water solenoid on there. And you'd be amazed at how many times it's the water flow that's the problem, even though it looks like it's a freeze issue.
Right. EJ asked, he said, "What's your take on the Samsung bittered ice maker?"
What's my take on the Samsung bearded ice maker? I don't know. I'd have to look up what the Samsung bearded ice maker is. I can tell you the Samsung refrigerator that I have is an ornery machine. I have to keep it super cleaned out. And the ice maker that is in the door, the only issue I've had with it is that somebody leaves my refrigerator door slightly open, and too much moisture gets in behind in the compartment, and I have problems with moisture freezing up around it. I've had to defrost it, I don't know, 6 or 7 times because somebody's left. Now, granted, I've got grandkids, okay? Come on. I've got grandkids that come in and leave it propped open. But I've had problems with it freezing up and getting ice forming back behind the seal, and that causes the problems.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Emmett Burks say I got a Uline under counter unit. It had a faulty.
I see it.
What you say?
I think I can see it. So you had a faulty IM replaced on Monday. Went out there today. No ice in the bucket. Okay, but there was ice inside the mold, but the mold didn't kick it out. Okay. On the U-lines, basically they're the same type of modules on most of them. On some of them that fit in the other refrigerators and other freezers. Ice makers don't go inside the refrigerator compartment; they go inside the freezer compartment. What I've had happen on those is the temperature gets cold enough to freeze the ice, but doesn't get cold enough to reset the bimetal. And the normal problem with that on the U-line is that the area underneath where the condensing air blows is clogged up, and we're not getting the temperature, so it's getting too warm, which means it's not getting cold enough, because believe it or not, for the ice maker to work, it has to get below 20 degrees in order for that bimetal to reset. And if the bimetal doesn't click, then hey, the mold doesn't flip on through and the arm doesn't go on around. The other problem I've had is on those modules is that even though you think the arm is engaged in the little locking switch, that little hook that goes in on the arm for the wire arm that goes up and down, that little hook isn't all the way in there, and it feels to you like it's clicking, but it hasn't clicked, and you've really left the ice maker so that you cut it on, but when you went to leave it, when you were pulling out, that little arm is popped back forward, and it's really off.
Wow. Okay.
So you might want to check. Might want to check that arm's engaged properly in the module.
Okay. You answered. You answered one of my questions I had in there.
Okay.
What temperature does ice maker have to be to work? So you answered that one.
So all of them need to be at least below 20 degrees for the ice maker to work in a freezer installation. Now, a standalone ice maker, like you see from the under-the-counter, I don't know, they're Scotsman, Uline, quite a few of them have their own refrigeration cycle. And so the bin itself never gets that cold, but they have their own coil, and they use refrigeration coil. Those get between 5 and 20 degrees inside the coil and pull the heat out on where the coil is. The evaporator itself is the form for the mold. All of those operate, even the commercial large ones, they operate somewhere between 5 degrees and 20 degrees. Don't know of any of them that operate at the zero, that get down to the zero. Even the really big ones, they operate at the 5 degrees because that's where they can pull the most liquid and have transfer on the surface for saturating the coil, and that can pull the most heat out as far as rapidly. You got to remember, when you start getting into those lower temperatures, the gases that we use they won't be able to carry as many BTUs as we need them to carry. And that gets deep into the theory behind ice makers. But the commercial, all of them operate somewhere between 5 and 20 degrees. I know that sounds weird. You think, well, why doesn't it work in sub-zero or below zero? Hey, we can't move as many BTUs. Now, if it's a module that goes in, obviously it gets down below that. And that's why sometimes you will find you've got really hard ice cream, but your ice maker takes forever to make ice. And you're sitting there scratching your head why. And it's because it takes longer for the amount of heat transfer from the mold, because the mold is holding it and holding that heat in. Whereas your higher temperature, it doesn't. It has to do with the amount of BTUs that it can pull.
Okay.
That's hard to explain without going into a long in depth.
Engineer appliance repair said he wished all customers would admit to the door being left open.
Oh, no. They would never admit it. It's never the door left open. It's never the gasket has been ripped, that you've got a ripped gasket. Never is it that's the problem. They'll tell you all the time. No. But yeah, no, that does cause problems. Anytime you have too much moisture get in there around that super cold compartment in those Samsungs, it will start to form ice. And of course, ice is not always our friend in that department.
Okay. Hey, 89 Dr. Funk. Hey, everybody. I'm going to get to the comments in a little while if I have time. Tim Burdick said, depending on Samsung ice maker version, thermistors are looking for specific temps to initiate harvest. Oh, I forgot I don't have my glasses. Yes.
The thermistor or bimetal, whichever method you go. Got to remember, any bimetal, what we used to use a bimetal for, they can put a thermistor in there, but they're all going to be looking for temperatures below that 20 degrees. If you're not getting down below that 20 degrees, they're not going to be happy.
All right. Tim Burdick also say, hold on. You can see it, Richard, right?
Yeah, I can see it. 8.5 degrees for 5 minutes after. Guys, that's why I say you got to look and read for every specific one. Go read the specifics. When I go to troubleshoot an ice maker, I look up the manufacturers. information. I don't care if it's a Scotsman, Manitowoc, Uline, GE, Whirlpool, Maytag, Frigidaire, Amana, Harvest Queen, Isomatic. Each one's different. In fact, the more modern items are becoming where they have different times put in because they're trying to meet the energy requirements. Got to remember, we've got to meet the energy requirements even for making ice now. Whereas before, hey, we just wanted to make ice. Now we've got to meet certain energy requirements. And remember, they've got to operate within their 3 to 7 amp, I believe is the new requirement, that the new machines have to operate with less than 7 amps.
Oh, okay. All righty then. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Okay, anybody else got questions about the ice makers? I want to come on and say something to Richard before I let him go. Engineer Appliance Repair say energy requirements are killing the quality of components, but yes, you're correct.
Yes, they are. The other thing that's killing the quality of the components is, for years, everything was mechanical in the ice in the refrigeration industry because of the moisture getting into the electronics, and they're having to make military. You need military or high grade components with sealed components, so that they're all concealed in conformal coating, and your connectors are sealed, and you put gel on the 2 connectors as you put them together. By the way, I highly recommend you get some automotive dielectric gel, like you use for your automotive connections, and use those on the pins and on your connections that you make in your ice makers. Believe it or not, that will decrease the amount of callbacks and calls you have, problems you have with your connections corroding up inside your ice machine and refrigerators.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Emmett Burke Garden say, if harvest arm is stuck at 12 o'clock, does that mean faulty IM or defective heat element?
Well, you take your meter out and you check the module, and you make sure that you can cycle it through in the bypass mode. And if it will cycle through and raise the arm and drop the arm on its own, then it's the element.
Okay. All right, then. All right, guys. Look, y'all sign up for the seal system class. Richard is our lead seal system instructor, lead instructor, period. But so y'all signed up for the seal system class coming up July 9th. We still have a couple more seats in that class. Richard, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
Thank you, man. You guys have a good evening. Look forward to seeing you guys on the 9th and 10th. And if you have questions, you can always give me a call.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will. All right. Thank you. Bye. Hey, y'all, look, y'all need to sign up for those classes. Look, you see Richard is a wealth of knowledge, so let's get into him. Greg B, I was here on time. I was here right with you. And you too, Untamed. I was here. Oh, my biggest fan in the building, SQS Servicers. I haven't seen you in about 2 weeks. Hey, EJ, what's up? Yes, y'all, hit the like button. Triple R Appliance say, hey, Mona, hey, Triple R. Y'all hit the like button. What's up, SQS Servicers? You coming out here in August for this class. I'm holding your seat. Yes, I'm trying to take care of myself, y'all. I'm trying. Hey, Quentin. Triple R Appliance Pack. Yes, I have learned. I I learned. I told you I was a little skeptical. I think DCNF brought them people in here because look, I put it in there today. When DCNF came in last time, everybody just started following him in. Nobody jumped in today. Hey, appliance boss. I think I already got EJ question. Yeah. Yeah. LV handy repair says outstanding. Oh. Hey, Tim Burdick. I need to get you on the show. When you coming? Tim Burdick said, oh, careful now. Laugh out loud. 89 Dr. Funk say hello, everyone. Yeah. DCNF. It was you brought. They followed you when you jumped in. I guess they felt like they can all come in. I guess they felt like they can all follow behind you. Look, I put it in there today. Nobody came in. These 89 Dr. Funk said facts. He is a wealth of knowledge. Yes, y'all come. Y'all enroll in this class. All right, Tom Birdie said, let's do it. Okay, I got to set it up. I got to see when we're going to get you on here. Next week sometime. Monday or Thursday next week. Maybe Thursday, because I think we'll see. But I'll let you know. You see it now, say laugh out loud. Hey, now if I would say, don't be putting folks on Mona. We don't want to repeat last week. I know last week shenanigans because Mike was trying to report my channel. Mike said he gonna get me shut down. SQS Services, you missed it. You missed the shenanigans last week. You were not here. Yes, I will see you in August. No, yes, you are DCNF. I want you to jump in. It's not your fault. I'm just playing. Feel free to jump in anytime. I'm just playing. The trolls was just out that day. Everybody was jumping in. I don't know what that was about. But feel free to jump in anytime. It was not your fault. All right, y'all. I'm out. Go over the mic. Hit the like button on your way out and go over the mic. And I'll see y'all over there. Good night.